Welcome back to another Python tutorial. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at conditional statements. And conditional statements are used to make decisions in your program. So this is really where we're going to start being able to make more complex programs. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to be using a couple of the things we learned in prior videos. So the first thing I'm going to do is define a variable. So I'm going to say my age is equal to 67. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to ask the user for their age. So I'm going to say user age is equal to, and since I'm getting an integer, I'm going to convert the input into an integer. So I'm going to put int first and then input. The prompt for the user is going to be, what is your age? And then I need two closing parentheses, one for the input function and one for the integer function. After that, I'm going to write my conditional statement. So conditional statements are just if-then statements. So I'm going to say if my age is greater than user age. At the end of an if statement, you need to put a colon. Once you press enter, it should be indented. So what this statement is checking to see if my age is greater than whatever the user's age is. If that's true, then I'm going to print the message, I am older. Just like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and run the code. So it's asking, what is your age? So I'm going to put something that's less than 67. So I'm going to put 56. And then it prints out, I am older. If I run the code again, and I choose something that is greater than 67, so maybe like 78, and press enter, it does nothing. So what's happening? It's using this if statement to check a condition. The condition is whether my age is greater than user age. If that winds up to being true, then it'll run whatever statement is indented. If it ends up being not true, then it does nothing. What I can do though is I can add additional checks to this. So what I can do is I can use an else statement, also need a colon. And what I can put for this else statement is I can print a message that says, you are older. Okay, so the way this works, it's first checking to see if my age is greater than user's age. If that ends up being true, then it's going to do this statement right here. When it checks to see if my age is greater than user age, and that ends up being false. So it would end up being false if the user's age is greater than my age. So if it does end up being false, then it's going to default to the else statement and print off you are older. Okay, let's go ahead and run our code and check it out. So what is your age? So first I'm going to select something that's less than 67, so 23. It prints I am older. If we rerun our program and choose something greater than 67, like 89, it prints you are older. Okay, I hope you guys see that there's actually one more case that we didn't actually cover, and that's if the two ages are equal. So if I put my age is 67, then it defaults and says you are older. But that's not actually the case. So what's happening is, what it's doing is checking to see if this is strictly greater than 67, and 67 is not greater than 67, so this ends up being false here. So whenever that ends up being false, it's going to default to the else statement, and it's going to print the message you are older, even though the two numbers are the same. So what we have to do is we have to add one more check to this, and if we wanted to add another if statement to our list, what we can do is we can say ELIF, which stands for else if. We can now put our condition, so we can put my age is equal to user age. And if that's the case, we can print we are the same age. Okay, so let's go ahead and run our program now and see if it's working the way we expect it to. If I run the code, it says I have an error. So what's happening here is whenever we're doing comparisons, we have to use two equal signs. If we just do one equal sign, that's for assignment. So that's like when we're making a variable, we use one equal sign to assign a value. If we're doing comparisons, so we're comparing two different numbers, then we need to use two equal signs. Okay, so let's go ahead and check it out and see if it's working. So what is your age? So we'll test the three different conditions. So let's check younger. So if I put 23, it says I am older. Okay, let's check to see if the ages are equal. So if I put 67, it says we are the same age. And lastly, we'll do one that's greater than 67, so we'll try 75, and this says you are older. So in this video, we combined 3 different things. We used a variable to store my age. We also used an input function to get information from the user. And then we used a set of conditional statements to print off a different message depending on whether the age is greater than, equal to, or less than the user age. Once you get a handle on conditional statements, you can really do anything you want to in programming. This is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next one.